Look, Dad. That mustache has got to go. It makes you look like a total gee. It makes you look like a total gee. Total gee.
Guys, Bulla is growing up, and have you ever imagined Goku training Vegeta's daughter so she can transform into Super Saiyan God? Well, you'll see this here with me, but first I left a like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. You did it? So let's start. On a sunny night at the Capsule Corporation, Bulma, who was always busy with new projects, was working to develop a device capable of making healthy energy available on Earth. But as she always had to watch her daughter Bulla, things became somewhat difficult. Bulma, who was focused on her project, ended up losing her concentration as her daughter was always running around and shouting, which hindered her full concentration on her project. Bulma said, "Oh, hello daughter, what are you doing here? You know you can't disturb mom when she's at work, right? Mommy is very busy, so please go play outside with your dad, okay?" Bulma said in a loving tone, because even though she had lost her concentration, she wouldn't speak rudely to her daughter. Bulla said, "Mom, Dad doesn't want to play this time. We always play, but this time, he said I should start training so I can get stronger. To be honest, I don't see the point in that. I'm already quite strong. I can even transform into a Super Saiyan," spoke Bulla, who filled her chest with pride. Bulma said, "That's the spirit, daughter. Ha ha ha. You certainly inherited a lot of pride from your father. There is no doubt that you have many similarities. Anyway, if he says he wants to train you, then why don't you try? Your father is absurdly strong and knows many training methods. I'm sure he will teach you very interesting things." Bulma commented, trying to convince her daughter to train a little. Bulla said, "Well, if you say so, I'll train with him. Ha ha ha. He will finally recognize that I am the strongest, without a doubt," said Bulla, who was already heading towards Vegeta's gravity machine. Meanwhile, in the gravity room, Vegeta, who was training in highly absurd gravity as usual, was doing several basic training exercises while dodging several attacks from highly intelligent robots that contributed greatly to Vegeta's training. Despite the high gravity and the robots in the surroundings, this didn't scare Vegeta at all. He just continued doing his exercises while calmly dodging. At the same time as all this was happening, the door to the gravity room ended up opening instantly, which in a way ended up taking away some of Vegeta's concentration from the training he was doing. Vegeta said, "Ah, what the hell? Who's there? Who dares to interfere with my training? Damn, I was almost there," said Vegeta, who was grumbling heavily. It was nothing more and nothing less than Bulla, Vegeta's daughter, who had finally found her father, as her mother had several gravity capsules, and as Bulma ended up forgetting to warn her, she had to go on her own account. Bulla, upon arriving in the room, was astonished by such destruction and dirt, in addition to the small injuries that her father had on his abdomen and other parts of his upper body. For Bulla, this was all new, as she had never seen a gravity room, and consequently had never had any interest in training. Bulla said, "Oh, Daddy, I finally found you! Well, consider yourself lucky because today I'm going to train with you. Mom said I should try something like that, and since I know I'm already absurdly strong, I'm going to test my strength with you," spoke Bulla, who pointed her finger directly in Vegeta's direction, expressing a defiant situation. Vegeta said, "Do you want to challenge me? You certainly have a lot of talk, my daughter. You are truly worthy of carrying the blood of the warrior race, and above all, of inheriting the royal blood coming from generations and generations of our family. Okay, if you want to train with me, I'm willing. In fact, that's what I wanted. I will finally have the opportunity to train you properly," commented Vegeta, who appeared to be very happy with his daughter's action. Bulla said, "So, let's go. What are we waiting for? I can handle this gravity easily. Come on, don't mess with me, Daddy," spoke Bulla, who was looking forward to the training. Vegeta, who had just pressed the gravity reset button, stood still, looking at his daughter. He was sure that she would be able to adapt to the training method. After all, she was his daughter, but most of all, he was also worried that there might be a possibility that she wouldn't be able to take it. Vegeta said, "Very well, Bulla, transform into a Super Saiyan. As the gravity is too high for your base state, I believe it is best for you to stay in this state," Vegeta argued, asking his daughter to transform. Bulla, who was reluctant to accept, just performed the Super Saiyan transformation and got into a fighting stance, just waiting for her father to send the attack signal. She was anxious, as it would be the first time in her entire life that she would finally face her father in combat. She certainly couldn't be more excited about it. Vegeta, who had been standing still for a few seconds, simply moved at an absurd speed and instantly appeared in front of Bulla, who had been shocked by the sudden appearance of her father in front of her. However, despite the shock, the girl did not shy away and quickly regained her warrior composure. To try to surprise her father, Bulla threw several consecutive punches, several of them accompanied by kicks, but all of them were defended by Vegeta. Vegeta said, Very well, very good. You are executing good movements. Unlike your older brother, you have immense commitment to fight. Ha ha ha, I'm enjoying watching. Continues, said Vegeta, while defending all the blows given by his daughter. Bulla, for some reason, was starting to get angry, as she felt that her father wasn't taking her seriously, and with that in mind, her punches simply increased in power and speed, as if she was adapting to combat without at least understand. Vegeta thought, whoa, what? Did she adapt to my defensive moves? Despite being just a 5-year-old child, she has an absurd determination for battles, and above all, an indomitable will in addition to her ego. She is a true genius in martial arts, that's for sure, thought Vegeta, who had a small smile as he defended Bulla's attacks. Bulla, who was getting angrier and angrier, simply lost control and increased her power absurdly, after which she managed to punch her father in the face, who obviously hadn't felt any kind of serious damage. But despite that, for Vegeta, it was something surprising. Bulla, who was already a little exhausted, ends up stopping training with her father and sits on the floor of the gravity room. Bulla said, "Daddy, you are really very strong, even though we didn't perform that many movements. I'm very happy to have a father as strong as you. So what did you think of my performance?" Bulla spoke, curious about her father's response. Vegeta said, "Yes, you surprised me more than I thought. Not only are you smart in the art of fighting, but you can also adapt very quickly to your opponent's fighting styles. You are brilliant, Bulla. Your performance was fantastic. But despite that, you still need to improve a lot if you even want to consider yourself a Saiyan warrior, understand?" commented the former prince of the Saiyans, who tried to encourage his daughter to have more enthusiasm. Bulla said, "Ha ha ha, I knew I could surprise Dad. After all, I'm very strong, the strongest in the universe. Ha 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 ha. Well, Dad, I'd like to train with you one more time. I'd like to try something, and honestly, I think this is the perfect time to test it out," Bulla said, looking at Vegeta with a cute face. Vegeta, who was in no position to refuse, ends up simply accepting. Why would he take away his daughter's freedom so she can have good training or good physical fitness? From what he knew, this was something fundamental for people, so he certainly wouldn't take his daughter's opportunity to improve. Vegeta said, "Of course, well, let's start again. I'm going to turn on the start button on the gravity machine, and right now, we'll be able to train at will," said Vegeta, who had just turned on the button. Bulla felt a little heavier than before, but she wasn't going to give up over something as banal and small as that. Her ego was too big for her to just end up giving up over something like that, and quickly, she positioned herself in her combat pose, waiting for his father to attack. Vegeta, who was looking on with a smile, appeared in front of his daughter and delivered a big punch to her stomach, making the girl step back a little. Vegeta said, "Even though you're just a little girl, you're simply going after things like this. Are you sure you want to continue? I won't take it easy," said Vegeta, who looked at his daughter with arrogance. Bulla said, "Everything is great. I decided that I want to get stronger, and to achieve that, there is nothing better than training with my father. You must have several transformations in addition to Super Saiyan, right? For example, the one called Super Saiyan God. I find it quite interesting. How could I achieve such a transformation?" Bulla commented with an air of curiosity. Vegeta said, "Well, what? The Super Saiyan God? So you want to learn, right? Well, I'm really sorry, daughter, but I can't teach you that. The method I used is only for myself, and I can't teach it to you. So I believe it will be highly impossible for you to learn this way." Bulla said, "What? So that means you're not going to teach me, right? Well then, who can I learn from? Come on, talk, Daddy." At this exact moment, a voice sounded from the back of the gravity capsule, a sweet voice that Bulla already knew very well, none other than her own mother. Bulma said, "Well, I heard a little of the conversation, and when it comes to the Super Saiyan God, I believe that Goku could help you with that. After all, he is one of those to achieve such a transformation," commented the scientist, who was drinking coffee. Bulla said, "Mr. Goku, is it? I still remember him. He's a man with banana hair. Ha 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 ha. Well, since he has knowledge about this form, I will have no choice but to go to Mr. Goku. Finally, it's time to awaken a new power," said Bulla, who felt excited to awaken a new form. As Bulla squirmed with happiness at finally having the opportunity to achieve the transformation she so desperately wanted, Bulma, who was reluctantly looking at her daughter, began to say what she thought about all of this. Bulma said, "You want to train with Goku, is that right? Although I admit that Goku is a true martial arts genius, he doesn't have the ability to teach anyone else. He's a crazy person who only thinks about himself," said Bulma, who was trying to prevent her daughter from going to visit the Saiyan. Bulla said, "What? You of all people won't let me go, Mommy. I thought you supported me, especially when it comes to martial arts," said Bulla, who began to look sad. Bulma said, well, if you really want this, then fine. I'll give you permission to go, but don't stay there the whole time, okay? It can be dangerous, so be careful," said Bulma, who despite being insecure about it, made her final decision. Vegeta said, "Well, Bulma, why are you so reluctant to let her go? Kakaroto is certainly capable of teaching it after all. He was the first person to awaken this transformation, right? He, of all people, is the one who has the most ability to teach her such a transformation. By the way, stop worrying so much. Bulla is a strong and determined girl who doesn't give up easily. She took after you, so she certainly won't give up," commented Vegeta, who had spoken with complete sincerity. Bulma said, "I don't think so. Are you admitting that Goku is better at this teaching method? In fact, I thought you were going to teach her how to have the transformation. You really surprised me, Vegeta." "Well, anyway, you're right. Bulla is really determined. I'm sure she'll do well," spoke Bulma, who began to care for Vegeta's wounds. Bulla said, "Thank you both very much, Mom and Dad. Now I'm going to get stronger and stronger. I feel like I can reach limits that I'm completely unaware of. Ha ha ha, I'm going, see you soon," commented Bulla, who had flown away at an absurd speed. Meanwhile, on Pao's mountain, Goku, who was outside his house, just looked boredly at the stars. He was very discouraged these days, mainly due to the fact that there was nothing that caught his attention. To make matters worse, neither Goten nor Gohan even wants to train with him, meaning he is incredibly bored. Goku said, "What the hell, I don't have anything to do, I could train a little. But in the state I'm in right now, I'm absolutely sure that I would get rather small results for this occasion. Well, come to think of it, I'm hungry, so I guess I'll eat something," said the Saiyan, who got up from the lawn and headed towards his house. At this moment, when he was about to enter, Goku had felt a strange presence approaching, and when he looked back, he observed that a small 5-year-old girl was looking at him with conviction and a burning determination. To Goku, the girl seemed to have a lot of determination, despite being just a child. He was sure that at this very moment, he needed to hear what she had to say. Bulla said, "Hello, Mr. Goku. My name is Bulla. I am the daughter of the prince of the warrior race of Saiyans, that is, kneel down," Bulla said, pointing her finger at Goku as a sign that he should show respect. Goku said, "Vegeta's daughter? Oh yes, I remember you well. That's really incredible. You were practically a tiny fetus when I met you for the first time. Well, what brings you here, daughter of Vegeta?" said Goku, who had his arms crossed, patiently waiting for the girl's response. Bulla said, "Well, I'll be direct. I want to train with you. I heard that you are a true genius in the field of martial arts, and I want to prove if that is true. Could you please teach me how to achieve the Super Saiyan God form?" said Bulla, who was anxiously waiting for an answer. Goku, who was looking at the girl with seriousness on his face, just sighed and looked at the child again. Goku said, "I didn't expect that Vegeta's daughter would want to train with me, hahaha. Very well, I will accept her request, but I want you to know that the journey will be quite complicated," commented Goku, who opened a small smile. Bulla said, "Journey? Like this? Will we travel somewhere specific?" Goku said, "Yes, that's right. The Super Saiyan God transformation is quite complicated to achieve, and the only recommended way to achieve this form is to get the help of other pure Saiyans, and soon after, we must make a circle so that we can begin the ritual," said Goku, who remembered how complicated it had been for him. Bulla, who just sincerely looked at Goku after he said such things, had not changed her expression at all. She was serious and determined. This was something that really moved Goku, as he expected that she would give up at the same minute. However, he had been completely mistaken. Goku was happy because he had finally found something that could revive his interest again, teaching someone. Goku never considered himself a good example of teaching someone or training them, so he was actually happy that a person wanted his teachings. Goku said, "Very well then, it's more than decided. From now on we will go to space," said Goku, who was excited. Bulla said, "What do you wait? Because of the emotion, I ended up not asking you this before, but weren't you and my father the only ones who survived the explosion of planet Vegeta? So theoretically, the other Saiyans should already be completely dead," spoke Bulla, who was increasingly filled with questions. Goku said, "Well done, girl. I have a capsule here with me, so we can go calmly. Come on, if you want to get stronger that much, then let's go looking for more new Saiyans. I'm sure that somewhere there must be some survivors. We just need to look," commented Goku, who had now programmed the capsule to work. "Very well, let's go. I'm super excited. I will finally learn a transformation from a god. Oh, it must be so incredible," commented Bulla, whose eyes were burning with curiosity. After so many conversations, the two finally got on the ship and easily ended up going to another galaxy. They were quite far away, but that was natural, as Bulma's ship is much faster and more advanced than Frieza's alien technology and his soldiers. Bulla was looking at the stars, being totally fascinated by the landscape. It was the first time she had seen all that, and it seemed so incredible according to her. It was a feeling she would never forget. Bulla said, "How cool! The space! I didn't imagine it would be so beautiful in person. This really is something spectacular. Thank you, Mr. Goku." Bulla spoke, being fascinated by the landscapes. Goku, who until now had a happy and playful expression, ended up feeling the key of very unusual beings. In other words, people are very well hidden. Still, he could feel it, and it was easily noticeable that it was similar to the energy of the Saiyans. Bulla said, "Ah, Sir Goku, what happened? Is there a problem? What is happening? Did you feel something?" Bulla said, who was starting to worry. Goku said, "These energies are quite peculiar, Bulla. Let's go to where these energies are located. This is very possibly what we were looking for during our journey on the ship. So get ready!" Goku immediately changed the ship's trajectory, and they easily ended up in front of a very peculiar planet. Its color was reddish with a few rings on each side, and it was possible to see that that planet was growing in society. Goku said, "Very well, let's go down, Bulla. It's time to talk. If there is no other way to defend ourselves, then we attack, okay? Let's go." Goku spoke with confidence. Both were heading towards the planet. Both were already in the great capital of the city, where there were many people with barbaric clothes and strange styles. Goku said, "Well, the people on this planet don't seem to have much dialogue. Anyway, I think the ideal now is to try to talk to them, even if they don't seem to be so friendly," said Goku, who was walking towards a palace together with Bulla. The two entered, and such was their surprise when they discovered that there really were Saiyans alive, and they all seemed to be quite strong and less arrogant, although they still maintained the barbaric characteristic. Goku said, "Hello, excuse me, are you Saiyans? I really didn't believe it when I saw you, but you have identical characteristics. It's really fascinating. It's a pleasure to meet you," said Goku, who was happy to meet others of his same race. The Saiyan called Orkek looked directly at Bulla. She was a little scared after he did that, but he relaxed completely, closing his eyes and stopping scaring the girl. Orkek said, "Visitors, this is a surprise. From what I see, you two are Saiyans. I can see that because of the ki you transmit. So, what are other Saiyans doing here? What they want?" Bulla said. "Hello, uncle. My name is Bulla, daughter of Prince Vegeta, whose blood comes from royalty. I, as a princess, am here to ask you to humbly help me," Bulla said, asking politely. Orkek, together with his companions, wondered what request a girl would like to make of them, but just in case, they decided to simply listen to what the girl had to say. Bulla began to tell the reason for coming, about all her fascination with the transformation of the Super Saiyan God and the history of the legend, and several other reasons. Bulla said, "So, are you going to help me or not?" "I am waiting," Bulla said, who was starting to get very anxious. Orkek said, "Well, it's a noble request. Besides, you came a long way just to ask for such a thing." "Well, I'm very grateful to you for visiting us." "Well, anyway, let's get to it," commented the Saiyan, who soon joined his companions in a circle, completely surrounding the girl. Bulla thought, "Ah, so this is how the ritual begins. Quite interesting. Ha 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 ha. I'm really excited to see what will happen," spoke Bulla, who immediately looked at Goku. Goku said, "Very well, now that everyone is in a circle, Bulla, I want you to close your eyes and relax, understand?" Goku said calmly. After that, Bulla's hair began to shine fiercely. A great divine and ancient aura began to shine over the girl. The environment was taking on a reddish color due to the intensity of her powers. The entire environment was changing, until finally a great light stopped everything, and it was possible to see only a girl with an expression of conviction who carried beautiful red hair. Bulla had finally achieved the transformation she wanted so much, the Super Saiyan God. Guys, this is how we end our story. Did you like the video? Leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos like this one until the next story, guys. Bye!